the Healthy Gains channel. I'm Jenny, and today we're talking kumquats, my very favorite citrus of all time. Just for fun though, I brought in a couple other of my favorites because I grow these in my yard and I had a couple tips to share. So Meyer lemon is the best lemon on the planet. So if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend you doing so. It's a winter citrus and it is so sweet and juicy that you can practically eat these by themselves, but they're really good in any recipe that calls for a lemon. But my tip is for the zest of a Meyer lemon. If a recipe calls for zest, you want a Meyer lemon peel because it offers that citrusy, zesty tartness that you want in a zest without bitterness, like a lot of other lemon varieties will have. So what I do when I have Meyer lemons is that I use them accordingly, and then I save the peel. I put it in a freezer bag, store it in my freezer for up to 6 months or more, and then anytime I have a recipe that calls for zest, I take my zester out and zest the frozen peels right over the dish that needs it. In addition to that, sometimes I throw them in smoothies if I'm without a lemon or lime. Because they lack that bitterness, you can actually put them in a smoothie if you're wanting some citrus flavor to it. So maybe a half to a quarter of a peel will do the trick. My other tip is for limes. This is a lime. I know it looks like a lemon because it's almost yellow, but this is what a ripe lime looks like. And a lot of people don't realize that they actually get to be almost yellow in color when they're ripe. That's because grocery stores bring them in when they're still green, and that's why when you take them home and squeeze the heck out of them, you might only get a drop or two. It's because they're not ripe. So my tip for limes is that if you are lucky enough to live in Southern California or in any other climate that is conducive for growing citrus, I recommend growing your own lime tree because it might be the only way that you get to know what a ripe lime looks like. And not only that, the lime trees, I think, are the prettiest of all the citrus. They're really lush and beautiful green in color. So not only do they bear a wonderful fruit when it's ripe, but they're also beautiful. So that's that, but we're really here to talk about the crown jewel of all the citrus, which is the kumquat, and it's March. So it's March, so our trees are finally bearing ripe and ready to eat treats. And when my kids want a treat, such as candy, I say we have Sour Patch Kids growing out on the tree right now. They're orange flavor. Have as much as you want. They're less than enthusiastic about getting kumquats instead of Sour Patch Kids, but that's how I think they taste. They honestly taste like candy. The flesh is sweet, the peel is tart, and the combination tastes like sour candy. So my kids would disagree, for the record. But I love them, and I love that they're so nutritious. Typically, if I find out that one food out of a group of foods is more nutritious than the others, it becomes my favorite, just because that's how high I put the priority on nutrient density. But in this case, kumquats were already my favorite, so they were even more nutritious than other citrus fruits, and it's because of this edible peel. So this peel offers a ton of fiber. You get 6 grams per serving, which is about 10 kumquats, which is a pretty impressive amount. You get essential oils and a double dose of antioxidants. And the entire fruit altogether offers B vitamins, minerals, antioxidants such as A, E, and C, tons of flavonoids, and tons of fiber like I mentioned. So not only are they nutritious, but they're delicious. So stay tuned for the rest of the video when I show you how to put them in a dish. Thanks. So up until recently, the only way I ever ate my kumquats was straight up. Just pop the whole thing in my mouth, and I think they're absolutely delicious by themselves, but I wanted to find a recipe where I can incorporate them into a dish, and I found a really good one. This is off of Dr. Mercola's website. It's a salad, but you can also be served as an appetizer, which I'm gonna do tonight. And what I love about this dish is that it's not only nutritious, but it is simple. It only has 5 ingredients, which are endive, avocado, kumquats, mint, and parsley. What I love about a great flavor profile is that less is better. And this is an example where you do not want to mess up this recipe because these flavors pair so well together that it is absolutely perfect the way it is. I'm guilty of adding a few more ingredients to a lot of recipes because either I want to add some more nutrient density to it or I just want to use up something that I already have. But in this case, I've learned not to touch it. It is so good just the way it is. And I have some special guests here to help me assemble it. This is Bear. Who's behind Bear? Gianna. This is Miss Gianna. This is Miss Grace. And we're gonna put this together as an appetizer, like I said. So it starts out with just the endive on a plate like this. What I love about endive, yeah, go ahead. You can put the avocado on the endive. What I love about endive is that it can substitute as a tortilla, a cracker, bread. We're trying to get those out of the house, and so anything that calls for it, we often use endive because it's crispy enough to hold a lot of things. Even something that's kind of wet, it stays crisp. And we call them boats, so it's kind of fun for the kids. We make all sorts of things in endive boats. We're not going to bore you to death by getting all this prepared. We'll get back to you after we put the avocado on. Okay, so Grace assembled all the endive with the avocado, and Gianna is starting to put on the mint and parsley. So we'll just sprinkle a little bit on each one and the kumquats last. There's actually no order to it. You can put it in any order you want. But one thing I did do to the avocado is squeeze a little bit of lime juice on it just to add some of that citrus flavor to it and along with the kumquat. And after we assemble it with the 5 ingredients, all we do is you can put a dressing of your choice, but my choice was olive oil and balsamic. And I put it in this little container so that it's just easier to put on with a little bit of precision. So who wants to do that?
Fine, you can. I don't really care.
All right, Gianna's gonna put that on.
Precise.
And
Precise. That's too much. Too much on one. Gianna. Okay. Wow. Perfect.
So much for precise. Okay, you guys just taste it now.
6.
Go ahead and give it a try and let us know what you think. What do you think, Grace?
It's really good.
All
They
right.
go together.
Give it a try and let us know what you think. Thank Bless you. Salad, but you can also see that it pairs well, or it sprinkle them on, or eat them. That's perfect. Okay, Gianna, this is parsley. So up until recently, the only way I ever ate kumquats was straight up. Just pop it in my mouth today. And I got this off of Dr.